I never thought I'd see her again. Especially not in the frozen foods aisle of a Monoprix at 7 p.m. on a random Tuesday. But there she was. Standing 3 meters away holding a basket with wine and pre-made salad, looking as devastatingly beautiful as the day I walked out of her office for the last time. Our eyes met across the frozen pizzas and my heart stopped. Literally stopped. For 6 months I had successfully avoided her. Changed my grocery store, my gym, my usual cafe. Built an entire new routine around not accidentally running into Charlotte Mercier, CEO of Mercier and Associés, the most brilliant advertising executive in Paris, and the woman I had loved in complete silence for 3 years. She was walking toward me now. Slowly. That confident stride I knew so well. Designer coat, perfect hair, those green eyes that had haunted my dreams. My hands gripped the shopping cart. Flight or fight. Every instinct screamed run. But my feet wouldn't move. Élise, she said. Just my name. But the way she said it. Soft. Almost hurt. I didn't expect to see you here. Neither did I wanted to say. But what came out instead changed everything. I needed milk, I said stupidly. And then she asked the question that broke me open. Why did you really resign? My name is Élise Moreau and 6 months ago I walked away from my dream job because staying would have destroyed me. I was 28 years old, creative director at one of Paris's most prestigious advertising agencies, working directly under Charlotte Mercier herself. People would kill for my position. I had killed for my position. For years of 80-hour weeks, brilliant campaigns, industry awards. I had built my entire career around being indispensable to her. Around making her vision come to life. Around being close to her even though it was torture. Because here's what no one knew. Not my colleagues, not my friends, certainly not Charlotte. I was completely, desperately, hopelessly in love with my boss. It had started innocently enough. My first day at the agency 3 years ago. I was 25, fresh out of graduate school, terrified and excited in equal measure. Charlotte had been in the conference room presenting to a major client. I had watched from the doorway, mesmerized. The way she commanded the room. The brilliant ideas flowing effortlessly. The passion in her eyes when she talked about storytelling and human connection. She was 42 then. Divorced. No children. Dedicated entirely to her work. Intimidating and magnetic in equal measure. After the presentation she had noticed me hovering. You must be the new creative, she said, extending her hand. Élise Moreau. Welcome to organized chaos. Her handshake was firm. Confident. Electric. Thank you, Madame Mercier. Charlotte, please. We're going to be working closely together. No need for formalities. Working closely together. If only she knew how those words would haunt me. The first year I told myself it was just admiration. Professional respect. She was brilliant and I wanted to learn from her. The fact that my heart raced when she walked into a room meant nothing. The fact that I stayed late hoping she'd need my help on something meant nothing. The fact that I memorized her coffee order, her favorite restaurants, the way she pushed her hair behind her ear when she was concentrating. Nothing. Just dedication to my job. The second year I admitted to myself that maybe it was a crush. A harmless, one-sided crush that would fade with time. Lots of people had crushes on their bosses. It was normal. Natural. It would pass. Except it didn't pass. It grew. Deepened. Became this constant ache in my chest every time she smiled at me, praised my work, touched my shoulder in passing. We worked closely. Very closely. Late nights perfecting pitch decks. Weekend brainstorming sessions. Business trips to London, Milan, New York. Hours and hours alone together. Talking about campaigns, yes, but also about life, art, dreams, fears. She opened up to me in ways she didn't with others. Told me about her difficult divorce 5 years ago. About her workaholic tendencies that had destroyed her marriage. About her fear that she'd wake up at 60 and realize she'd never really lived, just worked. I told her things too. About my complicated relationship with my family who didn't understand why I wanted this career. About my insecurity that I wasn't good enough. About my dream of one day running my own creative studio. She listened. Really listened. And sometimes, in those quiet moments late at night in some hotel bar after a successful pitch, I would let myself imagine. Imagine reaching across the table and taking her hand. Imagine telling her how I felt. Imagine her saying she felt it too. But I never did. Because she was my boss. Because she was straight as far as I knew. Because I was terrified of losing what we had, even if what we had was just professional. The third year everything became unbearable. Because she started dating someone. His name was Antoine. Venture capitalist. 45. Handsome in that conventional way. Rich. Successful. Everything she should want. She had seemed happy at first. Mentioned him casually. I'm seeing someone. Antoine. It's new but nice. That sentence had felt like a knife to my chest. But I smiled. Congratulated her. Asked polite questions. Died inside. Over the following months I watched their relationship progress. She'd leave work early sometimes for dinner with him. Come in Monday morning with that glow people get when they've had a good weekend. Talk about trips they were planning. His business acumen. How he understood the demands of her job. And I smiled through it all. Supported her. Pretended my heart wasn't shattering into smaller and smaller pieces. The breaking point came 6 months ago. Charlotte had called me into her office on a Friday afternoon. Close the door, she said. She looked nervous. Excited. A slight flush on her cheeks. My stomach dropped. Antoine proposed last night, she said. Holding out her hand. A massive diamond ring. We're engaged. The world tilted. I heard myself say congratulations. Heard myself ask about the proposal. Heard myself sound genuinely happy. But inside I was screaming. That night I went home to my small apartment in the Marais and cried for 3 hours. Then I opened my laptop and started writing my resignation letter. I knew I couldn't stay. Couldn't watch her plan a wedding. Couldn't smile through bridal showers and engagement parties. Couldn't stand next to her at the office while she built a life with someone else. I was a coward but I couldn't do it. The next Monday I handed in my notice. 2 weeks. Professional. Clean. She had been shocked. What? Why? Élise, you're my best creative. You can't just leave. I have an opportunity elsewhere, I lied. It's too good to pass up. What opportunity? Where? A startup. Boutique agency. More creative freedom. All lies. I had nothing lined up. No plan. Just the desperate need to get away. I'll match their offer. I'll give you more creative control. Whatever you need. It's not about money or control, Charlotte. Then what is it about? I had looked at her. Really looked at her. Trying to memorize every detail. The slight crease between her eyebrows when she was upset. The way her hair caught the light. The mouth I would never kiss. It's just time, I said. Time for me to move on. She had tried to convince me for the full 2 weeks. Offered promotions. Raises. Promises. But I held firm. And on my last day I walked out without telling her the truth. That was 6 months ago. I had spent the time freelancing. Taking on small projects. Rebuilding my savings. Avoiding anything that might bring me into Charlotte's orbit. I had heard through the industry grapevine that the wedding was planned for this fall. Had deliberately not looked at social media to avoid seeing photos. Had built walls around my heart and tried to move on. And now here she was. In the frozen foods aisle. Asking me why I really resigned. Why did I resign? I repeated. Buying time. My mind raced. What could I say? How could I? Yes, Charlotte said. You gave me that story about a startup. But I checked. You're not working anywhere. You're freelancing from home. So why did you really leave? Did I do something? Say something? Was the work environment bad? No. God, no. You were. The job was perfect. Then why? I need to understand, Élise. You were brilliant. You had a future at the agency. And you just walked away. Why? Something in her eyes. Genuine hurt. Genuine confusion. And suddenly I was so tired. Tired of lying. Tired of hiding. Tired of carrying this weight alone. What did I have to lose anymore? She was engaged. She was never going to be mine. At least I could have the truth. You want to know why? I heard myself say. My voice stronger than I felt. Yes. I took a breath. Let it out. Looked directly into those green eyes. Because I was in love with you. Because I am in love with you. Because working next to you every day, being close to you but never able to tell you, it was destroying me. And when you got engaged I knew I couldn't stay and watch you marry someone else. So I left. The silence that followed was deafening. Charlotte's face had gone completely white. Her mouth slightly open. Frozen. You. What? I'm in love with you, I repeated. Calmer now. Almost relieved. I have been for 3 years. Since practically the moment I met you. And I know you're straight. I know you're engaged. I know this changes nothing. But you asked why I left. That's why. Charlotte just stared at me. I could see her mind working. Processing. I grabbed my shopping cart. I should go. I'm sorry. Forget I said anything. Congratulations on your wedding. I started to walk past her. Her hand shot out. Caught my wrist. Wait. Charlotte, please. Let me leave with some dignity. I'm not straight. The word stopped me cold. I turned back. What? I'm not straight, she repeated. Her voice shaking now. I'm bisexual. I've known since university. I've dated women before. My marriage. My ex-husband knew. It was part of why we divorced. He couldn't. He had issues with it. My brain couldn't process this. But Antoine is a man, yes. But that doesn't mean I'm straight. I've been with men more because it's easier. My parents understand it. The business world understands it. I don't have to explain or defend or. She stopped. Took a breath. I took the path of least resistance. I always have. Why are you telling me this? Because you just told me you're in love with me. And I think I need you to know that it's not impossible. That I'm not. She seemed to be struggling to find words. Charlotte Mercier, who always had words. That you're not what? That I'm not indifferent. The floor disappeared beneath me. What are you saying? I don't know what I'm saying, she said. Running a hand through her hair. Distressed. This is. God, Élise. You can't just drop this on me in a grocery store and expect me to. I didn't expect anything. You asked why I left. I told you. I'm not asking you to do anything with that information. But you just said you're in love with me. I am. But you're engaged. To a man. Planning a wedding. Living your life. And I'm just trying to move on. What if I don't want you to move on? The question hung in the air between us. What if I don't want you to move on? Charlotte. When you left. When you resigned. I convinced myself it was about work. About your career. But a part of me felt like I'd lost something important. Something I didn't know I had until it was gone. You're engaged, I said again. Desperately. You're getting married in a few months. I know. Then what are you saying? I'm saying. God, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm saying that when I saw you tonight, my first thought wasn't about work or the agency. It was that I'd missed you. That these 6 months you've been gone I've felt incomplete. Don't do this, I said. Tears starting to form. Don't give me hope if you're not. If you can't. I need time. To think. To figure out what I'm feeling. What any of this means. I shook my head. I can't do that. I can't wait around while you figure out if I'm worth disrupting your perfect life for. I've spent 3 years waiting. Hoping. I'm done. I pulled my wrist from her grip. Started walking toward the exit. Abandoning my shopping cart with its pathetic contents. Milk. Pasta. Frozen pizza. The mundane items of a half-lived life. Élise, wait. I didn't turn around. Kept walking. Through the checkout area. Out the automatic doors. Into the Paris evening. Cool October air. I was half a block away when I heard footsteps running behind me. Élise, stop. Please. I turned. Charlotte was there. No coat. Left it in the store. Breathing hard. Hair disheveled. What? You're right, she gasped. You're right. You've waited long enough. So have I actually. I've spent my whole life taking the safe path. The expected path. Dating men because it was easier. Marrying someone I liked but didn't love. Building a perfect life that felt empty. And when you left I told myself it was fine. That I was fine. That I had everything I needed. But I wasn't fine. I'm not fine. Charlotte. I broke off the engagement. My heart stopped. What? When? 2 weeks ago. Gave back the ring. Told Antoine I couldn't marry him. Couldn't promise forever to someone when I felt like I was sleepwalking through my life. Why? Because I kept thinking about you. About how alive I felt when we worked together. How I looked forward to seeing you every morning. How your smile could change my entire day. How much I missed you when you were gone. And I told myself it was just. That you were just a good colleague. A friend. But it wasn't just that, was it? I don't know, I said honestly. What was it? I think I've been in love with you too. I didn't let myself see it. Didn't let myself feel it. Because you worked for me. Because it was complicated. Because I'm a coward who spent her life avoiding complicated things. I was crying now. Couldn't help it. You broke off your engagement. Yes. Because of me? Because of me. Because I deserve to be happy. Really happy. Not just comfortably numb. But if I'm being completely honest. Yes. Because of you. Because even the possibility of you is better than the certainty of a life half-lived. This is insane, I said. Laughing through tears. We're having this conversation on a Paris street. I know. You're my former boss. I know. This could be a disaster. I know. But I'm still in love with you. I know that too, she said. Stepping closer. And I'm falling in love with you. Have been for longer than I want to admit. I just needed you to leave for me to realize it. Needed to lose you to understand what I had. What do we do now? I don't know. I've never done this before. Been honest about what I want. About who I want. And what do you want? You, she said simply. If you'll have me. If you can forgive me for being too blind and stupid to see what was right in front of me for 3 years. I don't know if this will work, I said. Even as I said it, I was moving closer to her. Neither do I. We could ruin everything. We could. But I want to try. Me too. And there on the street outside the Monoprix with shoppers walking past and the city lights starting to come on, Charlotte Mercier kissed me. Her hands cupping my face. Her lips soft and perfect against mine. Everything I'd imagined and nothing like it because it was real. When we pulled apart we were both smiling. Crying a little. I quit my job for this, I said. I quit my engagement for this, she countered. Fair enough. Come home with me? Just like that? We've waited 3 years. I don't want to wait anymore. Do you? No. So I did. I went home with her. To her beautiful apartment in the 6th arrondissement that I'd only ever seen briefly during work events. And we talked until dawn. About everything. Our fears. Our hopes. How we'd navigate this. The complications. The office. The fact that technically she was still my former employer. We decided I wouldn't come back to the agency. Potential conflict of interest aside, I needed to build my own thing anyway. She would help me with connections, but I'd do it independently. We'd take things slow. Date properly. Figure out if this thing between us could really work outside the context of late nights and pitch decks. But slow is relative when you've already loved someone for 3 years. 6 months later I have my own creative studio. Small but growing. Charlotte sends me clients when she can without it being inappropriate. We have dinner together most nights. Sleep over at each other's places. Have met each other's friends. It's not perfect. There are challenges. Her parents don't understand why she's with a woman now after being engaged to a man. My industry colleagues gossip about how we met. There are awkward moments at industry events where people know our history. But we're happy. Really happy. Last week Charlotte asked me to move in with her. I said yes. Because here's what I learned. Sometimes the scariest thing is not loving someone. It's finding the courage to tell them. To risk everything for the possibility of happiness. I quit my job for love. She ended her engagement for love. And in the end it was the smartest thing either of us ever did. So if you're reading this and you're in love with someone you think you can't have. Someone inappropriate or complicated or impossible. Tell them. Not in some grand dramatic gesture. Just honestly. Because you never know. Maybe they're standing in the frozen foods aisle of their own life, waiting for permission to want what they want. And maybe that permission starts with you being brave enough to say the truth. I'm in love with you. 4 words. They cost me a job. But they gave me a life. And that trade. That's worth everything.